Hey people, welcome to the Run Testers. It's Kieran here. I'm here at the New Forest Marathon. We are about 45 minutes before the start of the race. Today I'm going to be race testing the New Balance SC Trail, brand new carbon plated trail shoe, fresh out the blocks from New Balance. I've done about 10 miles in these shoes already so far, but this will be the first big test, over 26.2 miles. They have combinations of sort of dual density fuel cell foam in them. They have got a carbon plate in them that's forked. They are made for all terrain, so they're made for technical trails and for easy rolling trails, bit of tarmac thrown in, all of that. Today we are going to get a lot of kind of nice, compact, groomed, not too hilly, not too technical trails, but with some good stretches of road thrown in. So it's the perfect opportunity to see what these shoes are made of. So I'm going to take them out there. I have no particular time in mind, going to run on feel and see how we get on. Big thanks to Garmin for inviting me down and giving me the place to run. I've got 4 or 5 of the Danube runners, the people who helped me out when I did my run along the river last year here as well. So we're going to see what we get. Let's go and find out. That's it. Gotta get it done. So we've just come up to halfway in. I think been on feet, coming up to maybe 1:45, 2 hours, something like that. I haven't looked at the watch, but we've covered quite a lot of varied terrain. There's quite a lot of the paths that you'll kind of see behind me, which are pretty sort of neat and groomed and compact kind of gravel, but we've also had big road sections as well. Bit of grass, so nothing steep, particularly technical, but a really good test so far for the New Balance SC Trail, particularly those road sections where I was wondering how they would hold up, because they are, you know, I guess fairly firm. This is a race that can definitely take a road shoe. There's lots of people out here in alpha flights and all sorts. So I was wondering how I'd get on in something that's slightly kind of firmer trail, but actually what you're getting here I think is a really good road to trail vibe from these shoes. The fuel cell, that softer bit of fuel cell at the top is just taking away the edge of the impact and giving a nice bit of response. It's good balance from the carbon plate. That sort of slight rockering as well is just helping with the roll through. And the other thing that I was really nervous about is how tight they fitted across the top and how kind of squeezed maybe they would be in the toe box. In that first run I suggested maybe going half a size up. I'm running true to size at the moment, but actually so far they've been quite good. Not too cramped, I'm not having any problems in terms of the fit. So yeah, if you like that kind of dialed in race fit, you don't mind it a little bit tighter. These are actually probably going to be okay, I would say. Might change a bit if you're going to start to do really kind of steep descents, big climbs. This is all fairly flat running, so for that they've been good. If you need a little bit more of extra room, the end of the toe box for longer ultras where you might be coming down and bashing, maybe you're going to still want to go half a size up. But in terms of the response and the ride underfoot, these shoes for this kind of terrain so far over 13 miles, they've been pretty bang on actually. Getting good kind of energy, good return, pretty decent stability, and they're clipping along happily. So let's go and get into the second half and I'll give you another update a bit later on. So we're into the last 5 miles now, we're back on the tarmac, and again these shoes, they are a bit sticky. I think a little bit sticky for the tarmac. At the beginning they were anyway. I mean, it's wet now, so they've been a bit better for that. and there's just about enough, I think, from cushioning and protection for them to be okay on the road. I picked up the pace quite a bit, so there's a bit more impact coming up through. But again, since I spoke to you last, they fared really well on the mixed terrain. We got a bit of sloppy stuff, the grip held up pretty well. It's not very good in the sort of slippier mud, but then those lugs are never going to do that. Yeah, I thought maybe they would become a little bit firm once I got into this kind of, you know, the meat and drink of this race, deep into, I guess I'm now in my 3rd hour running, but they're okay. Feet feel good, not too much ground impact. You can feel some of the stones and lumps and bumps coming up when you're on the trails, but overall the response and the ride of these has been really balanced. It's a really nice kind of pop, so they're nice and light, nice and agile, and for this kind of trail run or mixed terrain run, they've been good. I'm quite impressed. I feel good in them right now, when sometimes carbon plated trail shoes or they don't cope so well when you're doing this much on the tarmac. But anyway, my arm's aching, so I'm going to go and get this finished. Okay, so we're done. I think 3:30 something in the shoes. It was wet, it was hot, it was rain, it was dry in the beginning, it was hard, and then it was slippy and muddy. It was kind of all things out there. And the New Balance Trail Super Comp, it's the wrong way around that name, but the brain's gone. They performed really well. We'll do a little sum up when we get back over there. We're going to get our brains together now. Andy's suffering over here, look. Well done, Andy.
Amazing. Well done, buddy.
It's hard out there. But yeah, done. So then it's a couple of days after the New Forest Marathon, and I thought I'd quickly wrap up my thoughts, having had a bit more time to think about it, after running a 3:30 marathon on mixed terrain in the New Balance SC Trail. Well, let's start with the positives then. Well, for a trail marathon on mixed terrain like the New Forest here in the UK, where it's a combination of compacted forest paths, some grass sections, some wetter muddy bits, and a really good chunk of road, this shoe ran remarkably well. The midsole is nicely balanced. There's a bit of that SC Elite punch underfoot with more than a smattering of lightweight road shoe agility and response. There's just about enough softness from the top layer of fuel cell foam to provide the protection you need for that amount of time on feet. And the firmer lower layer with that carbon plate for a little bit of stiffness means you still feel the ground in a way that you need on the trails. So you get softness without sacrificing too much ground connection. In the latter miles, as I picked up the pace, I was more aware of the stones coming up through the shoe though, and I did have some wobbles in those final miles, perhaps because I was landing with a little less precision on tired legs, but that sometimes meant that the stability wasn't the best. I did hit small stones and roll slightly from side to side, but for most of the run I felt in control, well protected, and like the shoe was giving me exactly what I needed for that kind of course. There's a liveliness to the ride without feeling too disconnected and aggressively springy here. Now, however, there's one thing that I did want to flag up, it's really important. At mile 20, I upped the pace, and that's where I really noticed the tight fit. These shoes hug very, very snug in your regular running shoe size. And within a mile or two of picking up the pace and running a little bit faster, even on fairly flat ground, I felt my big toenails taking a battering from the end of the toe box. And by the end, it was pretty uncomfortable whilst I was running. I've now got blackened toenails here that are pretty sore and a bit blistered. So I definitely recommend going half a size up. And this marathon test has left me questioning whether I'd chance these shoes over an ultra distance. If you like roomy shoes, I think these might not be your best bet. They are very tight and racy, but I'd like to try going half a size up over longer miles before judging their ultra credentials fully. Another thing to note, another little whinge, was that you've got these flex grooves in the middle here that help the midsole move with your feet on uneven ground. Well, they did catch stones actually. I had one in there for a couple of miles, which is not ideal if you're racing for a time and you don't want to stop to pick it out. I couldn't be bothered. I was having to sort of kick to get rid of it. It might not happen often, but it did for a bit. So my race test verdict on the New Balance SC Trail shoes, well, this is a solid thumbs up. The ride, I think, in response and agility was spot on for mixed terrain runs where it's not too technical. And though I've not run steep or technical terrain, I think they've got a nimbleness to them that would probably be good for picking your way down trickier trails too. Based on this test, I think the marathon might be the limit of how far I'd run in them, and I get the feeling these will be best for shorter, faster trail efforts than tackling 100k ultras, but that's perhaps based on the cramped fit. At £200 or just shy of $200, they're also right up there with the top tier shoes on price, and it'll be interesting to do some side-to-side testing with other new rival plated trail shoes from the likes of Nike and Adidas, and look at them as they go lower down to things like the Hoka Tecton X to see how they compare. We'll have some of those videos on the channel for you later on. So there you have it. That is my race test of the New Balance SC Trail at the New Forest Marathon. Big thanks to Garmin for the place and to the New Forest Marathon team for putting on another cracking race. If you haven't done this and you live in the UK or you want to travel for it, I'd definitely check it out. It's an amazing race, well organised, beautiful scenery. If you found this video useful, enjoyable, or both, do us a favour and hit like. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of content. And if you're interested in the new Night Trail shoes, there's a video you should watch appearing on the channel around about now. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon on the Run Testers. Happy running, people. Good luck with what you're doing out there.